In
Yeah.
our state, we have a roughly 650,000 people in the state, and one full third of us are on Medicaid. So that would have a tremendous, I know, right? Tremendous impact. Um,
Oh wow. No, this is what
Right. And so
this is the
we
stuff,
have
Christopher.
closed down a couple of universities in the state, like Marlboro, and those are the
Oh
perfect and
yeah, the
ideal
state
locations to
universities.
turn into a drug treatment facility because they have dormitories, a cafeteria, classrooms. You
Mm,
could even house your
there's
staff
small
there.
enough
They're
campuses
small
that
enough
you could
campuses that you
repurpose.
can repurpose them. Exactly. They're in a serene setting away from the predators that are going to try and offer them drugs. Like,
Right.
but because we are profoundly lacking in treatment beds, Vermonters in quintessential Vermont politics style offer some nonsensical kick the can of, well, let's just open up a drug treatment safe injection site so addicts can come here and use, and if they die in front of us we will bring them back to life and let them use again and just
Isn't that
perpetuate the
uh,
mind
this is
blowing.
the thing. This is the thing. You know, Christopher, if our tax dollars were going towards programs that you could tell were actually helping people, I would not have sold my house in Burlington. But
Yeah.
once I heard that they were building another homeless shelter next to the high school after having, tons of overdoses in front of the students,
Mhm.
students being harassed by, mentally ill drug addicts, all of these and then they were going to spend what, another million plus dollars on another facility, plus do all this. And I'm going, as a recovering drug addict, I can tell you that what they are proposing will only kill people. It's like if your goal is to just sort of like mitigate the disaster that's coming, and so you just want them all to like die in one place rather than ODing all over the city, I mean, I guess that's a tactic.
I have reservations and many objections to the hub and spoke model as it is. I really feel like we need to work on interdiction, prohibit stopping the flow of fentanyl into our cities and to begin with, number one. Number two, we need more drug treatment inpatient beds and we need to make those Medicaid reforms like I said. That's imperative. But what do you do when they get out from 30 days? Because you know
Yeah,
as
where do
well as
they
I
go?
do, the person who's set on a pathway to recovery has to change people, places, and things, which is the
Oh,
primary deficiency in the hub and spoke model. So
correct.
when they get out, we need to have more supportive halfway houses. Halfway houses are wonderful. So they provide, you got to wake up, you got to time to wake up in the morning, you got to eat breakfast at a certain time, you got to do chores, you got to get a job, you got to go to meetings, you got to be in at a certain time.
That's
That
what you
structured
need.
environment really helps people get
Yeah.
another day clean. And once we have those supportive settings for people, that we will start to see a decrease in the proliferation of these
Mm,
addictions.
Okay. So I could, Christopher, anybody
I
who
love
knows us
talking about
knows
this subject. Yeah.
that's what I'm like. We could go on and on about everything. And we only have about, 15, 20 minutes left. So I want to make sure we cover, um, a bunch of stuff,
Okay.
particularly your race. Okay, so somebody, Yardbird Vermont says stealing up to $900 worth of goods is a joke. Yeah, that basically like you can steal essentially $1,000 worth of stuff and not be arrested,
Hmm.
convicted, or
Yep.
anything like that. And then they
I'd like to.
wonder
Yeah.
why businesses are moving, leaving, closing down.
Yeah. So we have had issues we with our legal system, judicial system for some time, and in my opinion, there are three responsible parties for the issues that we have. Sarah George receives a lot of the blame for this, and don't get me wrong, Sarah's office holds her fair share of
Mm,
responsibility with her progressive policies, but as a state's attorney she is only empowered with the tools that the legislature gives her. And our legislature has refused to update our laws in an eternity.
yeah.
We don't even have grand theft auto on the books. So,
Wait,
all
what?
that
Wait,
yeah, in the
what?
state of Vermont, there's no statute for grand theft auto. So if an individual steals your car in Burlington and they are caught down the street, they can only be charged with like receiving stolen property.
What? But it's
Yes,
still stealing. Who cares if
I
it's a car
know.
or a shirt? It's stealing.
Well, because they can just say that I didn't steal the car, the person gave it to me
What in the
or lent it to me. Yes.
I Okay,
I
I
didn't steal
can't
it. The
even.
person lent
I
it to me.
can't.
So, but do you see, like Sarah's like, oh, they're there, but those are
Oh,
the tools that the
whoops.
legislature has given her, and
Which
they have
we
refused up
know,
to right.
which
And
you
on
know
top of
she could
that,
get over.
well, she could, but because she's progressive, like she has less restrictions on that, and she has a lot of prosecutorial discretion. Don't
I
forget
hate that
that
word.
during all of COVID, our judicial branch kind of went on siesta
They
for like
did
2 straight years.
for
They
2 years.
really enjoyed
Yep.
being in their pajama pants at home. And now, because of it, we've got a bottleneck worse than, the people descending Everest, um, which in itself is a constitutional violation because these people are being denied their
Mm,
right to a speedy trial.
mm. Wow, Christopher. Okay, so this is okay.
So lots of
So,
blame to go around. Don't get me wrong. Sarah
uh,
George bears her share of the burden, but the real issue is too many Vermonters think that the legislature is horrible, but they love their legislator, and
mm,
they need to change that thinking. They're all pretty
they're
flipping
all
bad.
terrible.
They're all terrible.
S-
They're part of
So,
that political social class of
yeah.
they like to be hoity-toity and go along to get along, which means that they're really just controlled by the activists and the nonprofits.
Well, and that's what, oh gosh, we could go on a whole other tangent about not profits. Don't let me do it.
Yeah.
Okay.